First, I want to permission you that if you're an hourly billing attorney, flat fee or contingency-based firm, you need to get rid of this job as fast as you can. This is definitely for you because you have to protect your capacity at all ends. And so we need to replace you in some of these roles, and answering email is certainly one of them. Welcome to this episode of the Your Practice Mastered podcast. My name is Richard James, and today we're going to be talking about gaining your freedom from having to manage your inbox. I was on a client group call, and I asked everybody, what is the number one task that you have to do as the owner of a law firm that seems to take up the most of your time? You'd love to get rid of it if you can have somebody else or something else manage it for you. Instantaneously, 95% of the answers I got was email management. I don't understand why lawyers are managing their inbox when they get to the ownership level. And I get it now. One, they never built a system for it to begin with. And two, usually lawyers start small and they're doing everything and their clients are communicating with them via email. They're giving out their personal email. Sometimes they're giving out their personal cell phone. And the lawyers get inundated from either existing clients, past clients, or both, or even third parties emailing them about what's going on in their case. Almost 80% of the volume of questions comes from 20% of the questions. Most people are asking the same questions over and over again. So you probably get frustrated. You probably, if you were smart, built some templates and kind of grab copy and paste and just send them the answer. That's what a lot of lawyers are doing. The other thing that happens is that as you do develop a team, you become the traffic cop and you're sending things to different people. The email comes in, you send them to other people, and you realize that there's an importance of speed. So you're hyper attentive to this, hyper attuned to this, and you feel like you can't break free. And of course, the 20% of the volume of questions does come from a whole bunch of questions that require some special attention. And you actually feel like you must answer those questions because nobody else could, because you're probably giving legal advice. And if you bill hourly, you're like, hang on, I bill for that. Whether you're a level 1 attorney where you're keeping it small, keeping it all, and like you're just going to be you and a couple of employees and you're just going to grow it to that, 850 to 1.2 level, depending on practice area, and maximize profitability, this is definitely for you because you have to protect your capacity at all ends because you have to do things in your business that some of the other folks don't have to do because there's not enough employees to go around. So you're going to be doing some roles that are important. So you need to get rid of the roles that somebody else can do as fast as possible. And so we need to replace you in some of these roles, and answering email is certainly one of them. And if you're the CEO, you definitely shouldn't be answering emails. And if you're in the middle and you're in what we call law firm hell, somewhere between 1.2 and $3 million in revenue, depending on practice area, your life feels like hell, probably because you're still managing your email and you feel like this is never-ending string of things you've got to deal with. I'm going to give you some advice around the system that I created. By the way, I wrote a playbook about this, and you can grab a copy of that playbook. It's inside of the description. So let's take a look at this. Freedom from your inbox. Generally speaking, there are 5 fundamental steps I want you to take. The first is this word create. This is where a lot of attorneys get it wrong. Before I can build a system where someone or something can manage your email for you, I have to get rid of all your personal stuff. You want to make sure that you create a new email for yourself. Over time, spam is going to find it. But that said, create your own personal email and separate it, and then just get over the fact that your personal email is probably going to be a hot mess. Trust me, for as long as email has been around, I've had an empty email box until the last 18 months. I feel much better about it. Step 2, hire or appoint. So you're going to need somebody to manage your email. They need to be technically proficient. They don't need to be a programmer, but they need to not struggle with any Google Suite products or Microsoft Suite products, CRMs, basic AI functionality. They need to be very, very good, which means they probably need to be younger. Sorry. Those that are 40 and above, many of them struggle with technology. They have the basics down, but they're not fast. I need somebody that's fast and has a good wit about them. And we have a staffing company, and that's where we get ours from. We help our clients get that as well. We find our team members in Mexico, we just get a really high quality caliber individual there. There's lots of people to pull from. You do have a savings over US labor. I think a personal assistant that you're going to hire could absolutely be remote and in another country. I like Mexico because it's on a similar time zone as we are. You can also appoint somebody from inside your firm. They can't do anything else while they're learning to do this. So you can't appoint somebody and have them do this as a part-time gig. Depending on how many emails you get, it may be a full-time job, period. So until they master the email thing, I can't have them do anything else. If you appoint somebody, that's fine, but they got to stop doing all of their jobs until they've mastered this role. And if you're keep it small, keep it all firm, and you've only got one other employee and you want them to do it because they've got bandwidth, great. You're just going to have to pick up some of the slack for them while they learn this. You're going to have to ease up their workflow a little bit. Just saying. Hey, if you could use some help getting freedom from your inbox and you like this training, we've got a playbook you could use. Go ahead and click the link below. It'll take you to the playbook that you can obtain, and it should walk you through this step by step. We'll give you a path to be able to ask any questions as well. Go ahead, click on the link below and grab that playbook today. The next is we're going to want to leverage AI. And so it's not just human, it's also AI overlay. You're going to want to build your own custom GPTs. And again, in that playbook, I go through step by step how to do this. And you're going to want to pick up some AI scheduling systems so that we can deal with clients who need to be dealt with inside of this email list where they can schedule an appointment for you to put it on your calendar rather than you having to deal with this. You're going to have to fold AI into this conversation. It's like an overlay. It makes everything work better, faster, more efficient, and with higher level of accuracy. It's only going to get better from here. But right now, this is what you're going to want to do. The third is DDR, demonstrate, do, review. When you hire or appoint the person, and we've now separated all your personal email to your other email address, and we now have these AI tools that we're going to use to manage it. Now what you have to do is you have to demonstrate for your new assistant how this is done. The way I would demonstrate from email is I would screen share with them while I go through my email and I answer everything, and I'm going to show them how I do it. And then I'm going to have them do it while I'm on the screen with them and I'm reviewing what they're doing. And then I'm going to stop after they do one. I'm going to tell them what they did right, what they need to improve on, what they should never do again. They're going to start building these rules of engagement from these demonstrate, do, review sessions. And you're going to keep doing these sessions over and over for your new assistant until you feel comfortable that they've got it. Eventually, they'll be so good at it, they'll be better at it than you are, which is what we really want. And then finally, you're going to want to manage this on a daily and weekly basis. And I use something called Flow, a system derived by one of our partners, Bert Diener. He's a law firm owner that's grown from a couple $1 million to multiple tens of millions of dollars in gross revenues. He used these systems I'm teaching you about, and he created this flow mechanism. Flow basically means we're going to do one-on-one trainings with a demonstrate, do, review. We're going to have stand-ups every day, retrospective meetings at the end of every week, and planning sessions at the beginning of every week. We're going to set goals, review whether we hit those goals on a daily basis, identify obstacles, and we're going to figure out how to overcome those obstacles. We refine the system over time. I'll tell you, this whole thing is somewhere between 4 and 8 weeks. That has a lot to do with how long it takes to hire and appoint somebody and move your email over. Once you start training them, I feel fairly comfortable that in about 4 weeks, you're going to be able to do this. And what's going to happen is your time required is going to taper off. The first week, it's going to require you more time than you're doing right now because you're training somebody else. And then the second week, it'll require you about the same amount of time. And the third week, a little less time. And then by the fourth week, you're going to require even less time. And by the week 5, you're likely just managing the last 10%, managing the outliers of this, right? And so you want to create space inside of this so that your assistant can meet with you at the end of every day and ask you any outlying questions. That's really important. But you have to give constant feedback and work with them to accomplish this goal. If you do this, you're going to gain freedom from your inbox. I'm going to tell you that something is probably going to fall through the cracks, but it's not going to be so egregious that it's going to cost you your bar association license. It's probably going to require an apology, and then you'll learn about how that fell through the cracks, and you'll stop it from not falling through the cracks again. But at the end, what's going to happen is you're not going to have to manage your inbox anymore. And so there's some advanced versions of this, but for the playbook, go ahead and click on the link below. We'll get you a copy of it. I hope you've enjoyed this session on learning to build a new email management system. Look forward to talking to you next time. If you could use some help getting freedom from your inbox and you like this training, we've got a playbook you could use. Go ahead and click the link below. It'll take you to the playbook that you can obtain, and it should walk you through this step by step. We'll give you a path to be able to ask any questions as well. Go ahead, click on the link below and grab that playbook today.